Procrastination comes from the Latin word crastinus, and it's actually two words. It's pro and crastinus, which means something belonging to the future. In modern times, procrastination actually has the meaning of putting things off, either intentionally or by habit. And it's something that is very common nowadays in our generation. And I know from personal experience, it's most common in the creative industry. So in the beginning, say for example, you start a project and you're really excited about it, but then you become constantly distracted by other tasks of trivial importance. And this is something that can be very bad for your productivity. But before we get to the video, I need to check something with Facebook, so I will be right back. Just give me a second. On first thought, procrastination might be confused with laziness, but this is totally not true. Lazy people are just fine with not doing anything, while on the other hand, procrastinators, they just can't seem to force themselves to take action for the things that really matter to them. Another thing that people confuse sometimes is that procrastination is relaxation. This is also not true. On the contrary, getting over procrastination should lead to getting things done and then eventually being able to relax, take care of yourself, and be content. So when we are procrastinating, basically we're wasting our time doing things of small importance when we could be investing our time in something more meaningful. But why does this happen? And why is this very common nowadays? Why is this keep torturing us? Why is it so hard to focus on the things that we actually want to do? There's a few reasons for that. One of the reasons is that actually today we have so many more opportunities than we did in the past. This is something that on paper it sounds really exciting, and it actually is. It's amazing. Like nowadays, the internet is this vast library of information and tools, and you can actually do whatever you set your mind on. But even though it's an amazing thing to have all these opportunities and all this potential, it can also be very confusing, and you don't always know what your priority is, what is the thing that you really want to do. So in this situation, it's very easy to become numb, and you just keep yourself busy with other things that are of trivial importance, and you never get to do the things that really get you excited. Personally, for example, trying to make these YouTube videos, it's a constant struggle. It's so hard. The temptation to just sit on the sofa and play video games for a couple of hours is so strong, but then I know that is something that I'm going to regret, because these videos is what I really want to do. If I spend my time and doing anything else, it's something that I'm going to regret eventually. Another thing that we don't pay as much attention as we should is that our time is valued. It's so easy to get preoccupied with stuff like our career or money or other things that are more material, and we forget that time is our most important asset, and a lot of the times we won't have a second chance for the things that we want to do, because someday we wake up and we realize it's now too late to do the things that we constantly put off again and again. And for me, this mentality helped me when I decided that I wanted to take parkour classes, because probably this is a very physical activity, so maybe it's better to take it while you're young, because you're gonna have the most potential to do something like that. So I decided I'm not gonna be any younger in the future. The youngest I'm gonna ever be is now. So I might as well try this now. So this actually helped me to be more decisive in starting something new, and something that I was thinking about for a few years, but I never took the chance to actually try it. And I'm really glad I took these parkour classes before my 30s, because it was something that I really wanted to do before I get old and heavy and it's hard to even stand up from the sofa or something. My back. Oh. And the last reason why we procrastinate so easily is that maybe we lack the right type of motivation. So even though we start determined and excited and we really want to do the things that we want to do, eventually we lose our drive, and now every further action seems like a chore. So this means that probably there are different types of motivation, right? So let's see which one is the right type of motivation and what our approach should be in order to avoid procrastination and actually be more productive with our projects. The most common type of motivation is that of the reward and the punishment. It's basically how a parent persuades their children to do their homework before starting playing video games, with the video game being the reward and the homework being the tasks that they need to do. With grown-ups, it's their daily jobs and the salaries, benefits, and their career achievements. So in these scenarios, people do the tasks that they have to importance on have to in order to get the reward. They're not really excited, or they cannot maintain their excitement for too long for the things that they have to do, and their performance always seems to be in a constant basic level. It never goes too high and it never goes too down, which is just enough for them to get the reward. Another type of motivation is that of setting up a goal for ourselves. So in this case, we go through a series of tasks that we need to perform in order to achieve a goal. We start very excited and very determined to do the best we can in order to achieve our dream. If you have seen the movie Tangled, you have Princess Rapunzel, who has dedicated her life to travel to the kingdom in order to see the floating lights that are released every year on her birthday. This is her dream. And you have this scene on the boat with Flynn Rider where she's about to see this thing and she's worried that this might not live up to her expectations. And then he reassures her and tells her that don't worry, everything will be fine. And then she realizes, okay, but what if everything is fine? What do I do then? And this is precisely the point here. By setting up a goal, you go through a journey of working hard and doing all the tasks required to achieve this goal. But what happens when you achieve it? Probably it's very exciting and you get this short but very intense sense of accomplishment and this very strong sense of joy, but it doesn't last long. Eventually, all the excitement that you initially had when you were starting, it fades off. There's nothing more to experience now. And the last type of motivation is that of having a vision for our actions. So instead of obsessing about the destination, now we can enjoy the fruit of our labors while we're going through the tasks. It's like being Odysseus, but instead of obsessing about returning to Ithaca, we're now just excited to meet the next monster and go through the next perilous adventure because that's fun. But with all seriousness, this is probably the best type of motivation because our actions now have a meaning. And instead of stressing about a goal or a reward, we now can enjoy our actions. They have a meaning to us and they add to the overall vision that we have, and in time we can grow and become a better version of ourselves. So how can we get over procrastination and actually be more productive? Well, as we just said, having a vision always helps. It's really important to be honest with yourself, have some internal dialogue. What is your vision basically, so that you can direct your everyday actions towards it, and then you can enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. So personally, for example, when I started being an animator, I was very frustrated about getting the best job at the high-profile movies of the biggest studios of animation. I will animate so hard and I will not rest until I cross the gates of Pixar. And after getting disappointed a couple of times during my professional experiences, I decided that maybe that's not the best goal to have in life. And then I thought that maybe I should find what was my initial drive in becoming an animator. And I realized that being creative and creating performances and entertaining people is what I really enjoyed, and maybe that's what I should focus on. But that doesn't have to be tied to a specific studio. This is something personal, and I can do it even if it's a smaller studio or a bigger studio or whatever the type of the project. And another thing that can help is having a to-do list or a schedule. But again, here you need to be honest with yourself. While this is something that can help, sometimes we might overload our schedule with too many tasks and lose focus of the important things that we really should focus on. And then you need to be honest with the time that you need to dedicate to every task of your day. For example, I know that I need 1 hour to get my gym training, but then I need another half an hour to get back home and have a shower and be ready for the next task. So this is something that you really need to be honest with yourself, because ideally this is something that should help you and not get you more stress and more frustration about the daily tasks. Another thing that can help a lot is getting new habits. I know it's very scary to get out of your comfort zone, but this is how you try new things and you gain new experiences. And also in the long term, you might find new ways to automate the tasks and spend less mental or physical energy to actually get things done. So even though you procrastinate in the beginning because something looks like too big of a task, you might realize that after you get over your initial fear, things might not be so scary and you might actually find ways to automate the process and spend less energy to actually do the tasks that you wanted to do. And last, it's also important to take some time to review your progress. But again, you should be honest with yourself. What are the experiences you had so far and what are the lessons that you have learned? Are you really as excited as you proclaim you are about the things that you're actually doing? This is a very important point in order to find where the focus should be from now on and what are the actions that you should be doing in order to enjoy the journey ahead and keep moving forward. And that's it. Yes, we didn't procrastinate too much. Another video done. But again, I would like to hear your thoughts about the topic in the comment section down below. And if you're enjoying the content so far, please consider subscribing or giving it a thumbs up. It really helps so much growing this channel. And with that said, I've been Thanos, you've been awesome, and I'll see you in the next video.